Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will show you how we can consume the web API in the sample React app. We will also see what is CORS and why we need to enable it. So in my last video we built the web API using the MVC core and entity framework. And if you haven't watched that video, please check it. I'll put a description below. So anyways, let's start this video. So guys, this is my sample React app that I built for a simple like blog article. So let's run it and then I will explain what I have done in this project. So let's run this React app. So npm run start, and this will start my React app. Right, so you can see at the moment it doesn't show any list. The block list is completely empty. It's because if you look at my project, I have got this data folder where I've got this db.json file, and in db.json file you can see there are 4 blog articles, right? So in this app I'm actually reading this data to display on that list, but you can see it's not working. It's because I'm using the JSON server to read the data and I haven't yet started the JSON server. So if you look at this package.json, you will see this JSON server. So this is the dependency. So I need to start this server and then you'll see what will happen. So just start npm run and server. So when you run that script, it will actually run this script. So it will run the JSON server at port 2020. And if you look at this endpoint, and if you go, you will see this endpoint is actually return you the list of blog articles that we have in that JSON files. So now if you refresh, you will see all those blog articles that we have on a JSON files is over there, right? So let's quickly check if all the endpoints are working. So let's try by adding a new one. So let's try something new. Anything, any text for testing. Select her, create blog, and let's try something new, right? And let's click it, and you can see we can even view, and we have got this delete button, and it's gone. So basically the React app is working as expected, but now our goal is to replace this endpoint with the one that we built on our last video. So you remember in our last video we'll build the web API using the entity framework and MVC core. So we will replace this endpoint that we have used in this project with that one, so that our data will be actually stored in a SQL server. So let's do that. So in our last video we built this web API, and if you look at this article controller, you will see there are like 5 endpoints basically for getting all the article, for updating the article, for posting the new article, and for deleting the article. So we will be using those endpoints in that sample app. So let's first run this project and see if those endpoints are working. So let's build and let's run it. And yes, we have got all those endpoints. So our next job is to use those endpoints in our project, in React project. So in the React project, you will see there are a bunch of files. So the first one is the block list. So the block list is actually to get all the blog articles. So over here, like I'm using this endpoint, right? Over this endpoint, which will actually call the data from the JSON files. We don't need to worry about the code that we have written in the React. It's just try to understand, like the concept that what we are trying to achieve. So over here, I'm passing this endpoint. This endpoint is actually to get all the blog article lists. So we will be replacing this one with this one, because if you look at our project over here, this is the endpoint, right? So API and article. So over here, you can see, if you see the route, it will be like API slash controller, and our controller is article. So it will be like API slash article. So over here, it's throwing error. Why? Okay, maybe I have. All right, so I haven't supplied the password over here, so I need to do that. So let's start it. So I'll write my password. Right, and let's run it again. And let's try it again. So API article. So see, you can see there are a bunch of articles that are that it is reading from our SQL server. So now if you jump back to here, and if you run this recap, see, so it's getting all the news article that we have over here. Wait, it's not. It's different, right? So let me check it again. Oh, I haven't saved it, sorry. So I have saved it, and let's try it again. Boom. It's not working. Why? So let's inspect it. Okay, so if you look at the error, you can clearly see the error: access to the page at this endpoint from origin localhost has 300 has been blocked by core policy. So that means like we try to access the MVC core web API from our React app. So this is our React app endpoint, and we try to actually get the resource from the MVC core, and it's not giving the permission, and it has been blocked. So what is that? I mean, so why is that? It's because of CORS. So what is CORS? So CORS actually stand for cross origin resource sharing. So for security reason, like if you are trying to access the resource from different domain, like it doesn't actually allow you unless you enable the CORS in the code. So at the moment we haven't actually enabled the CORS. So it the React app actually tried to get the permission. Okay, I need this data from this API endpoint, and the server side said no, we cannot give you that, like that data that you are requesting. So if you look at the picture, you will clearly understand what is happening here. So this is the client side. This is our React app is asking for the data to our web API server, and in response is no, we cannot give you because we are not allowed to give you that resource. So how can we get that data then? So in the server side, like we need to now define the policy, or we need to enable the CORS for this origin, so that when the request is sent to the to the server, it will know, okay, I can give it the data that you are actually looking for, because I have the policy which say for this endpoint I'm allowed to give you the data that you are actually looking for. So once the CORS is enabled, then the request that you send to the server, you'll get the response. So let's look at this thing in our code, and let's try to understand how we can enable CORS so that we can actually read the API endpoint from our web API. Okay, back to our code. So over here, we need to now define the policy, and we need to like enable the CORS for that React app origin, so that we give permission for the React app to read the like data from the server. So for that, what we need to do is over here we need to build services, and we need to add the CORS, and it will have options. So options will be option.add policy, and we need to give the name of the policy. So let's keep the name, we can give any name, let's say default policy, and we need to now define the policy. So now if you say policy dot, you can see there are a bunch of options. So you can see allow any origin, allow any method, allow any header. So in this case, if you look if you go with the allow any origin, it will be open for all origin, which we don't want. We want to open it only for the React one. So we will say with origin, and we need to give the endpoints over here. So in our case, the endpoint is this one, right? So just copy it and paste it. So we are saying, okay, we want the policy with origin this one, right? And we also want to give this allow any headers. So we are allowing for any headers, and let's say allow any method, right? So now we have added the CORS. Now we need to actually use the CORS. So we need to come over here, and we can say app.use CORS, and we need to give the name, and that name will be the same one that we define over here, which is default policy, right? Semicolon, and let's rebuild it, and let's see, and hopefully it will work. Finger cross. Let article project run. Good. And this is the one, right? So let's refresh it, and still not working. Why? HTTPS. Okay, why? 300. Oh, I think it's because of this one. Because if you look at here, we don't have a backslash. So let's try it again. Wait, let's stop it, and let's start it again. Let's remove the block point. Unable to fetch data. Why? Okay, so let's see why it is trying this error. So let's inspect it, and let's see the console. Failed to load resource with status 4.4. API block. Oh, okay, right. I know why. So if you look at the code over here, controller, so you can see the endpoint is wrong. It should be API/article, right? And over here, sorry, so over here it should be article. See, then it will work. So over here, I think we are using the wrong endpoint. So it should not be blog, it should be article. and let's see. Let's close other, refresh. Yep. So you can see there are 3 news articles that we just read from the SQL Server. So let's try it. So let's try with the create block. So for create block, we have the endpoint. We have this endpoint, which is this one, right? API/control. So what we need to do is over here, let's copy this, and this is the place where we are actually creating. So you can see the method is post and we are passing the body. So here let's replace this one with this, and let's comment it out so that now it will read from our webapi server. So let's try. Okay, let's try with creating a block. So create a block, new block 2022, some funny text on blog, Sanz, create block, and let's say if we refresh, okay, you can see the new block is there, but it's not working over here, but it's actually creating. And we can actually try again by, let's say, some funny news, hello news, and maybe let's add some long text. So that will be, so let me copy that from somewhere else. So there is some bug in this recap that it's actually not refreshing, but we don't care. So funny news, right? So the create endpoint actually is working now. The next thing is, when we click this one, we need to see those news articles, right? So that means if you remember our endpoints over here, we have this one where we actually looking to get a specific, like a news article. So we need to use that over here so that we can view the specific news article. So go back to our React app and over a blog. This is where we are actually using that. So let's comment it, that one, and use this one. So that way we are actually reading from our MVC API. So let's try. Boom. So you can see it's passing the ID and it's actually reading any specific blog article only. Cool. So next thing, maybe let's try with the delete endpoint. So at the moment, if you delete, refresh, it's not working. New blog, delete, refresh. Wow, it's working actually. Why? So if you look at the code in the React, you will see this endpoint, right? So it is using this endpoint to call this use space method, which will actually give you the specific, article that you're looking for. So this data will actually be any specific article. But when you click the delete, you are actually calling this delete method, and where this delete method is also sharing the same endpoint. So over here you can see this endpoint, which is this one. So the delete and the getting any specific article are sharing the same endpoint. So that is why I don't need to make any change to work for the delete operation. So now if you look at our news article, it's perfectly working. So you can see we can create the blog article, we can view the blog article, and if needed we can even delete the blog article. And they are all the data that are actually coming from the SQL server. And I hope you understand how we can consume the web API that we built in any app. For this video we are using in a React app, but we can do it for Vue or some other like app. And I hope you learned something today, and if you like this video, please share this video with your friends, give thumbs ups, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. I will see you soon with my next video. Bye.